Why did the ancient Egyptians worship cats, crocodiles, and even beetles like gods? What secrets did these animals hold? In ancient Egypt, animals were more than companions or predators. They were vessels of divine power. Some guarded the dead, others symbolized rebirth, and many were honored with temples, offerings, and even mummification. Each sacred animal represented the traits the Egyptians admired: protection, strength, wisdom, fertility, and eternal life. Let's explore these sacred creatures, each a living symbol of the gods they embodied. The falcon was one of the most powerful and sacred animals in Egyptian mythology. It embodied Horus, the sky god and divine protector of the pharaoh. With eyes representing the sun and moon, Horus watched over all of Egypt. Pharaohs were considered living Horuses, divine rulers on earth. Horus was often shown as a falcon or a man with a falcon's head, crowned with the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. The falcon also symbolized Ra, the sun god, especially in his form as Ra Horakti, Horus of the two horizons. When you see a falcon crowned with the solar disk, you're looking at a powerful symbol of royal divinity, the sun's eternal journey, and protection from evil. The cat was perhaps the most beloved animal in ancient Egypt. Revered for its grace and hunting skills, it also symbolized protection and domestic harmony. Cats were sacred to Bastet, the goddess of fertility, motherhood, and home. She was depicted as a lioness in earlier times, and later as a gentle cat-headed woman. Egyptians mummified cats and offered them at Bastet's temples, especially in Saqqara, where thousands of cat mummies were discovered. The cat's divine role extended even to the sun god Ra, who sometimes appeared as a mighty tomcat defeating the chaos serpent, Apophis. Dogs, and their wild cousins, jackals, were deeply associated with Anubis, the god of mummification and the afterlife. Anubis, portrayed with a black jackal head, protected graves and guided souls through the underworld. His color symbolized the fertile black soil of the Nile and rebirth. Before Osiris rose to prominence, Anubis was the chief funerary deity. Temples and burial grounds, like Sinopolis, City of Dogs, were dedicated to him. Mummified dogs were often buried to honor Anubis and seek his protection in the afterlife. The ibis represented Thoth, the god of wisdom, writing, and the moon. Thoth was believed to have invented writing and was known as the Lord of the Divine Words. He was depicted as an ibis-headed man with a writing palette. Temples raised thousands of ibises in captivity to offer them in rituals, especially during the late period. Over 4 million ibis mummies have been found in places like Tuna el Gabel. The ibis's curved beak was thought to resemble both the crescent moon and Thoth's pen, reinforcing its sacred symbolism. The baboon, intelligent and expressive, was another sacred form of Thoth, especially in his lunar aspect. Baboons were believed to greet the rising sun with loud cries, a daily act of worship. In funerary art, they appear during the weighing of the heart ceremony, guarding the dead or recording the judgment. Baboons were also linked to Hapi, the son of Horus, protector of the lungs. Egyptians kept baboons in temples and even mummified them, believing their divine form could aid in rebirth and protection during the soul's journey. Feared and revered, the crocodile symbolized raw power and divine protection. The god Sobek, crocodile-headed and mighty, was the ruler of waters, fertility, and royal strength. His temples, like the one in Crocodilopolis, modern-day Fayum, housed live crocodiles seen as incarnations of the god. Sobek was associated with the Nile's life-giving waters and even its creation, believed to have flowed from his sweat. After death, sacred crocodiles were mummified and entombed with care, honoring Sobek's dual nature as destroyer and life-giver. The hippopotamus, Egypt's largest land animal, inspired both fear and awe. Known for aggression and protectiveness, it became the symbol of Taweret, goddess of childbirth and fertility. Taweret had the body of a pregnant hippo, the limbs of a lioness, and a crocodile's tail, combining the traits of Egypt's most dangerous animals. She was often depicted on amulets and wands to guard pregnant women and newborns. Hippos also represented rebirth, and blue faience hippos buried in tombs symbolized the soul's return to life. Interestingly, many hippo statues were found with broken legs, perhaps to disable their magic and avoid danger even in the afterlife. Last but not least, The scarab beetle, modeled after the dung beetle, was sacred to Khepri, the god of the morning sun and rebirth. The beetle's habit of rolling dung balls inspired myths of the sun being rolled across the sky. Egyptians believed the scarab could create life from nothing, just like the rising sun. Scarab amulets were worn for protection and placed on mummies to ensure a favorable judgment. Large heart scarabs carried spells from the Book of the Dead to prevent the heart from betraying the deceased in the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians saw the divine in every corner of nature. Through animals, they honored the mysteries of birth, death, chaos, and renewal. These sacred creatures weren't worshipped for their flesh and bone, but for the divine essence they represented. Even today, their images continue to fascinate, reminding us how ancient people found meaning in the natural world.